Nebziza, Amakuyo Yawe, Nameza. Yo, so I'm having a conversation back and forth with myself right now, but I'm practicing my Kenya Rwanda, as you guys know, because today I'm going to be talking about why I love Rwandan women. This is a series, if you guys don't know, I don't discriminate against any person of African descent, so this is going to be a series about black women that I've met, or people of African descent women that I've met, I've dated, or I know somebody that knows them and I interacted with them, which is a lot because I'm in the whole Afro descent world. So I meet Caribbeans, I meet, brothers and sisters from back from the motherland, I meet brothers and sisters from Europe, I meet brothers and sisters from Asia throughout my whole life. I'm not young, but I'm not old. So, I've met a lot of black women in my life. So today we're going to be talking about why I love Rwandan women. So Rwandan women are very special to me because I know a couple of Rwandan women and they're very, very, very nice, very family oriented is what I will say first. Very family oriented. And one thing I love about Rwandan women is that, every time you greet them, it seems like they're very happy and they're very caring and they want to know more about you. This is from my experience, as you gotta, realize in my head, in my experience. And I haven't met every Rwandan woman, like I said in every video, but from the ones that I've met, they've been really, really, really nice and very intelligent. I've noticed a lot of Rwandan women are highly intelligent. Obviously, us living in America, most of us that are African Americans or people that live in America in general of other races, not all of us, but a lot of us don't really know more than one language. Maybe we know English and we know maybe Spanish or maybe French because that's what you're taught in school. And obviously it makes sense to know Spanish because, when Mexico was colonized and a lot of people from Mexico and South America that were colonized, they speak Spanish now from the Spaniards. And it's, you got to know Spanish a little bit because that's where America's probably going at some point. But back to what I was going to say is that they know a lot of languages. Now, they've been colonized too, obviously, so French and all these other kind of languages they know. But I've noticed that there's a lot of presence in teaching their kids different languages, like learning like other languages that they don't know compared to us in America, where I don't think a lot of people put emphasis growing up on learning different languages. So I like that Rwandan women know a lot of different languages. The Rwandan women that I've met have known like 5, 6, 7 languages. To be honest with you, I know I'm learning Somali, as you know. I know a little bit of different African languages, but actually I know Cambodian, which is Khmer, which is an Asian language. I don't know it fully, but I know it way more than I know probably any other language, which I'm trying to work on other languages, as you guys see in my Somali series. But that's one thing I love about Rwandan women. The second thing I love about Rwandan women is that they are very unique. And when I say unique, I love them because they're not the part of East Africa that is always in the spotlight. And I don't know if that really, it's funny because I watched a comedian one time and I want to say he was from Uganda, but I don't think he's from any ethnic group that exists in Rwanda or the Burundi area. And I think one time he said he was Rwandan people suffer from understanding how beautiful they are, and Rwandan women suffer for understanding how beautiful they are because they're so oblivious to it, meaning that they don't even know that they're beautiful. And I think they know that they're beautiful, but it's they don't get pumped up certain East African countries, right? So that's another thing I love about Rwandan women is that the humbleness. I've never met a Rwandan woman where I walked up to them, and I'm pretty sure that they exist, but not the ones that I've met, to where I walked up to them and I said hi and they never talked to me, or they didn't have a conversation, engage in conversation with me, or wanted to learn more. And that's something that I really love about Rwandan women, because I want to have a conversation with somebody. It's not always about trying to be with somebody or whatever. It's just about having a mutual respect for another person of African descent and wanting to learn, their culture like they want to learn your culture, or at least I would say subculture, right? Because we're all people of African descent. That's another reason I love Rwandan women. The third reason I love Rwandan women is the food. Yo, we can never forget about the food, right? I love the food. It's pronounced, tell me if I'm wrong about this. Somebody might cut my head off for this, but Bagari is the only thing which I look at Bagari as being you could say if I'm wrong, but I look at it as being is it fufu? Maybe it's fufu. I don't know. I always try to compare it to West African food because I feel like it's there's some that are I think made out of yams, and then there's some that are it's not yams. I'm sorry. It's some that are made out of maybe it is yams. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe I butchered that. But yo, that's the only Rwandan food that I ever had that I don't really particularly like. Now, here's the reason. I equate that with tapioca, meaning that it has no taste. But at first, I think the first time that I ate Bagari, if I'm saying it right, I didn't have anything with it, and I'm pretty sure it's like a acquired taste and a new thing for me, seeing I'm African American. I don't know if we have anything in African American food that is like that. I'm trying to think if we have any kind of soul food that doesn't, like, it has a taste, but it's like it's like tapioca. It's like a very faint taste. But anyways, I don't think we do. But to make a long story short, is that when I eat that, I ate it by itself. Or when I ate that, let me correct myself. When I ate that, I ate it by itself. I didn't have anything to like dip it in or anything. So I was informed that I should dip it in something, and when I dipped it in something, I actually sort of kind of liked it. I liked it. It sort of reminds me of like mashed potatoes in a way, but more like more consistent. Like you can actually pick it up, more like a dough. But anyways, outside of Bagari, which I'm like up in the air against, I love the food. I like Rwandan food because me being vegan, there's a lot of Rwandan food that, like, I'm not gonna lie, Rwandan people eat meat, but it's not, I don't feel like it's the main dish, or at least from what I've been told and the people I've talked to, you know, some of them from the city, it's like meat, but it's not like meat is like everything, if that makes any sense. Like there's a lot more vegetable dishes that I can eat, and a lot of fruit, and obviously like fish dishes and stuff like that. So I love Rwanda women because the food is very unique. It's like, to me, it's different. It's not like the typical, I mean, it's I don't mean it in typical in a bad way, but like I think it's like something unique. Like there's some foods that I've had in Rwanda that I really haven't saw or had in different other parts of like black cultures. But like these things that are like donuts, I forget what they're called. They're like fried donuts, but they don't have any sugar on them. And I forget what they're called. I apologize if I'm butchering that, but you guys will probably tell me in the comments. But that's another thing I love about Rwandan women is the food. The fourth thing is, I like how Rwandan women talk. I think that the Rwandan accent is a very, very, very beautiful accent. It's an accent that is really like unique. It's not necessarily something that you hear every day. It's like, it sounds like an East African language in a way, but it sounds like, I don't know how to explain it. Like the accent is different. The Rwandan accent is very different from like a lot of East African girls that I've heard. It sounds a tidbit different to where I can be like, I know that this person is from Rwanda, right? Even the gestures that they make or things of that nature. So that's one thing. As well, I love the way that Rwandan women look. I think that they're beautiful. I think they're some of the most beautiful black women in the world, if not the most beautiful black women in the world. They're very, very beautiful women. Also, another thing I love about Rwandan women, how can I ever forget this one? I love this about all black people. If you don't know by now, or people of African descent, I love the foreheads. I love the uniqueness and the diversity of like how Rwandan women look. I love it because I feel like Rwandan women can look like any women in Africa, and that's something that I love. I think that's very beautiful and very unique. You know, you can have what people would say is beautiful, and then you can have what another person would say is ugly, and you can have what somebody says is ugly and another person says is beautiful. I personally like big foreheads. Maybe everybody doesn't. I like it. I think it's very unique, and I think actually, to be honest with you, I feel like that's a part of being of African descent. Like, I mean, I'm not saying, I think that more people in maybe certain parts of or certain ethnic groups might have these distinct traits a little bit more, but to be honest with you, I'm African American. I know a lot of people in my family, they got big foreheads. So that's why to me it's like, I don't look at it as being like, I think there's a bigger group, right? Like where people in Rwanda and certain places, West Africa and stuff, that have bigger foreheads. But I think that's an African descent thing in general, because I have people in my family that have big foreheads too as well. So that's something that I love as well. The other thing I love about Rwandan women is the almond eyes. I love like how can I say almond eyes? I feel like Rwandan women's eyes sort of kind of remind me of like a lot of Ethiopian women from different ethnic groups that I've seen. And you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but as I know, a lot of people from Rwanda have migrated. Obviously, they're nomads from different places, right? So it could be all connected. Probably is all connected. At the end of the day, we all come from certain, a certain amount of ethnic groups. We didn't have thousands and thousands forever and ever and ever, right? Like we do today. Different ethnic groups. We all came from someplace at one point. So the one thing that I love about Rwandan women is like the shape of their eyes. It's very unique, and it's like, I don't know, it's very beautiful. Like I'm a fan of big foreheads, big eyes, and another thing I'm a fan of, which I don't know if a lot of people like or not, but I like the gap in between the teeth. Like I find that very attractive when there's a gap in between the teeth. Something about that to me is just so like of African descent that I love. So that's another thing I love about Rwandan women is their features in their eyes. I love Rwandan women for that, and I love the strength of Rwandan women. Like I'm not saying that there's not all black women or African women are not strong, but something about when I see a Rwandan women, the ones I met, they were very strong. I mean, they would like cook, They would clean, they would like go outside and help with the lawn, and they would go outside and help with the housework and like carrying groceries in and doing stuff that some other women, I think, at some point would think that that's a man's job to do. You know what I'm saying? At least in the Western world, would think that that's a man's job to do. Like, hey, I'm doing this, you should carry the heavy stuff. But they would actually help you. They won't just sit there and like look at you and be like, oh, you should just do this by yourself. You know, from the ones I've met, I could be wrong about that, but from the ones I met, they're very helpful and they're very, very strong women. And another thing I love about Rwanda women are their traditional clothing. Let me tell you something about their traditional clothing. I wish Rwanda women would wear their traditional clothing more on a normal basis, because I think the Rwandan traditional clothing is so amazing and beautiful. The funny thing is that it reminds me very similar to the traditional Somali clothing in a way, because in Rwanda they wear the cloth or the certain kind of material, right? It might not be cloth, but whatever the material might be, right? Like a silky material, and it goes across here, and I'll probably have a picture right here, but it goes across here and it like flows like a dress, and I think that's one of the most beautiful, elegant dresses there are in Africa, as well as I love the headband pieces that they wear on top of their head. And I think there's 2 sticks on this side. It might not be sticks, but there's some kind of decoration. So I love the traditional clothing. Like I just stated, it's an amazing thing. I love it, to be honest with you. You know, I wish Rwanda women would wear their traditional clothes all the time, every day. I think it's a beautiful thing. You know, I think it's a really beautiful thing. Sorry, I was choking up for Rwanda women, right? But now I had something in my throat. But I wish they would wear traditional clothing. I think the traditional clothing is so beautiful, which leads me to my next point of what I love about Rwanda women, is that I love the traditional dancing. Man, I've seen Rwanda women traditionally dance, and it's actually amazing, because the first time I saw a hand dance, and I'm not trying to compare you guys, but I'm just saying that this is my experience. I have a lot of Cambodian friends and Khmer friends, right? Like South Asian friends. And when I saw the Khmer dance, or the Cambodian dance, traditional dance, where they use their hands and they walk around and they use their hands, it was amazing, because I felt like, and I'm not saying that there's no African like ethnic groups that use their hands, but I thought it was amazing when I saw Rwanda women dancing traditionally, because when Rwanda women dance traditionally, they use their hands, and that reminded me so much of like the Cambodian women, the whole Buddha, the whole how the Cambodian women dress traditionally, right? And they use their hands. So I'm not trying to say that Rwanda women like obviously copied them or whatever. I mean, people from Africa are way older, but I'm just saying that it was just funny to see that I went to a Cambodian weddings parties for like 6, 7 years of my life, for a long time. I'm very versed in Cambodian culture, and when I seen Rwanda for the first time, and even found out about Rwanda maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago, and then in the last couple of years actually meeting women from Rwanda for the first time and learning more about the culture, the hand dance is so beautiful and so elegant when the women go like this and they have a pot on their head. It's a very amazing thing. If you don't know about the Rwandan women and men traditional dances, you need to go check it out on YouTube right now, because it's an amazing, beautiful dance, especially when they have the pots on their head, or the baskets. I apologize, the baskets on their head. It's an amazing thing. With the traditional dance, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, right? So today was another video about why I love Rwanda women. I hope I touched all the points. There's probably some points that I'm missing, but this is all I know about Rwanda women. So yo, you guys can't kill me, because it's all I know. But as always, I want to empower all black women, all women of African descent around the world. And as always, you guys are beautiful. And you know, like I always say, try to find a king. Somebody's gonna treat you with respect. And to all Rwanda women, yo, I like the real Rwanda women, not the ones that are about Amafalanga. Yo, if you guys don't know what Amafalanga means, it means money. So I don't like Rwanda women that are about Amafalanga, which I don't think most are, but the ones that are, I don't have no Amafalangas, right? I'm just playing with you. But until next time, guys, as always, yo, each one teach one. Like my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, All African Network. So guys, until next time, one love, peace.
What's up, what's up?
Hey.
Shalom.
What up?
Hi.
Africa.